All right, welcome everybody to Stock Analysis Friday. Today is November 15th, 2024. Great to have you here, whether you're watching the live presentation or the recording. On the recording, we'll put some links under the description area so you can check those out on YouTube. And we'll have things that, like books that we recommend and stuff like that. So you can check that out. All right, so let me know if you lose audio or visual. Hopefully we'll be okay with the technology today. And like Gene says, welcome everyone. Good to have everybody here. So Stock Analysis Friday, we're here for about a half an hour. And the purpose of it is for me to look at stocks that you're interested in and whether you're already long on it and you want to know, like, for example, where to put your stop or you're thinking about a short trade or whatever it is, let us know. Also, too, if your broker calls you and says, this looks like a good buy here, let's take a look at it from a technical standpoint. That's what we do here. Okay, audio and visuals are A-okay. Thank you. Good, good. All right, so the next thing is you can go ahead and start typing in the stock or ETF symbols you want me to look at, and I'll be glad to bring those up and analyze those with our software called the ART Trading Software. And I'll talk a little bit about that further along. But anyway, welcome. All right, so let me go through some of the administrational items I have to go through before we get going. First thing to talk about, of course, are the risks involved in trading. We have to let you be aware there are risks in trading the markets. There's no guarantees of profitability. We deal in a realm of probabilities. And so when we take a trade, we're doing it usually with an edge, but it doesn't always work. So you need to be aware of that. Also, past performance does not guarantee future performance. So keep that in mind. And also, too, I would say anything that we look at here, please run that by your financial advisor or whoever manages your money to be sure that particular trade or whatever is suitable for you. I don't know your personal situation, and of course, they certainly should, and that's important. All right, what else can I tell you? All right, so trade with risk capital, money you can afford to risk. And you should do some form of money management or risk control on each and every trade. And we can help you with that. I've got a ton of books on that. And also, too, when you fund your account, if you're a day trader, I'd recommend using a prop firm. And the one I like is Apex. And the reason for that is you're trading their funds, okay, not your own. Now, there is an evaluation period and so forth, but it's a small fee to get started, and they give you free data. And if you use a link that I put up there in the chat area here, okay, you can check that out and save some money, okay? So I just like to pass that on to everybody. All right, books. Here are my books on money management. All right, The Art of Trading, second edition. That book on the far right is my newest book, just completed this year, and it's going to press right now. Should be out, I think, by the end of the year. I think they're talking December, so next month. So pretty excited about that, about 580 pages, and it's going to have an accompanying website along with it. So a lot of cool information. And basically, it's a brain dump from me to you for the past 30 years I've been trading the market. So definitely check that out. And you can order it at Amazon. Again, I'll put a link below. I also have a book on Elliott Wave, and the money management books are important as well. All right, software we're going to use today is called the ART Trading Software. And we have a lot of accompanying pieces to it. We have the OWL indicator, the PTF, TLM, and ERI indicators. You're going to see me using those at the bottom of the charts when we look at it. We've got scanners. We probably won't use those today because you're going to be giving me stocks to look at. And then under that is our risk control software. So we try to cover all the major bases with our software. So you're getting entries and exits, high probabilities, and you're also getting scanners to find the markets in order to trade, and also you're getting risk control software. And this software can be used on all time frames in all markets. And then finally, give us a like, okay? As Gene says, thank you everyone for the likes. You are awesome. So we do appreciate that. All right, well, let's get into it, okay? So let me just put this down. And a couple of things I want to share with you before we actually start looking at your stocks. And one of the things is I like to give an overview of the market and also tell you a little bit about what you're looking at here. So this is what they call the Ninja Trader charting platform. And it's a very popular platform used by many professionals in the industry. Our software is coded for it. So basically, when you buy our software, it gets installed. We install it for you if you want, or you can do it yourself with a simple import function. But the idea is that what I have here is I have it loaded on 3 charts, all of the same symbol, but they have different time frames. So this chart over here is a 60-minute chart. This is a daily, and this is a weekly. And towards the end of today's presentation, just before we go, I also share the intraday markets, and that's usually a 15-second, 1 minute, and 5 minute with the software working. So you can check that out. So in any case, I want to take a quick look at the Dow Jones here. I've got it loaded on all 3 time frames. So I've got an area up here. This is a fib extension based off a bull run that started in 2009. And as you can see, prices are in it, and it looks to us like they may not be done, but we are getting a pullback right now in the market. But for right now, we're above all the major trend lines, and I'm going to open up this chart here. This is the weekly chart, all right, and this goes way, way back. And as you can see currently here, we're above all trend lines, so the trend is still considered up. And I know we're in a target zone where we could see a bear market evolve at any time. So far, it hasn't, okay? So, you know, until the market actually changes and starts taking out these trend lines and support levels, you know, all these things down here are support levels, and we haven't even taken any of those out, all right? So the trend is still up, and enjoy it, okay? But with that said, be prepared, okay? Because usually when we get into a target like this, the market can abruptly change and go into a bear market. So we have to be careful. All right, so the range of this target is around 42,271, and we're at 43,471. And the top of the range is 51,000, now 49. So it's very possible we could get up into this area here before it reverses, or it could reverse at any time. You know, currently the market's got everything priced in perfectly. Interest rates, you know, it's priced in with the Trump presidency because they feel that he's going to do a lot for the markets. So everything is kind of perfect in the market right now. And so that usually concerns me, right, when it's perfect. So just be aware that it could change at any time. Kind of like when you sail a boat, you know, if your storm is coming, you get ready for it, but you set your sails with the current conditions. And in the markets, the current conditions are still up, okay? All right, so anyway, also do type in your symbols in all caps and let me know if you're currently long, short, or, you know, need to know where a stop should be or what, okay? Or just thinking about it. That way I can customize my analysis specifically for you. All right, I want to look at a couple stocks here right off the bat that we recommended before. And one was Tesla. Okay, it's done extremely well. And it's starting to enter its target range. Our target on this is around 420, and we're at 317. So we still got some more room up on Tesla to go. And the reason we're coming up with that 420 area is one of our indicators called the PTF is really, really good. It has a 70% accuracy rate. And basically when it's green, locate the highest price in that green area, and that would be the old high on Tesla back in 2022. And there's a 70% chance we'll take out that high on the next swing up. So we are in the next swing up, and we anticipate taking out that high. So basically, if you're in Tesla, stay with it, okay? You should see more highs with that. You may get a pullback here and there, but nothing to worry about, okay? I think you should stay with that. Let me just really quickly take a look at crypto as well. This is GBTC, and you can trade crypto as BTC as well. This is basically entering its target, and we have green PTFs across the board, so more highs are coming. And we've had such a big run up in GBTC and the cryptos in general that getting a slight pullback at this point would not be a surprise, okay? Nothing to panic about. In the GBTC market, our target is between like 73 and 94, and we're keeping an eye on one of our indicators called the OWL to see if it's going to switch this wave 3 over to here. So far, in terms of an Elliott wave count, and there's 5 waves in a trend, this is kind of what it's looking like right now. However, okay, if this becomes the new wave 3, you'll see this move over to here, and then that changes things. That means we have a lot more highs to come. So we'll see what happens with that. With green PTFs, you don't have to do anything right now but hold it. And BTC and many of the cryptos are in the same boat as this. And, you know, if you remember a while back when we were down in this range here, which was a fib retracement, we were calling this as a great time to buy, right? So hopefully you were able to get in there. Okay, let's see what's out there. First thing I want to take a look at, first one up is Stu. Hello, Stuart. All right, okay, PENN. Watching that, Nike you're watching, and SNOW long. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at here. Okay, so basically what I think Stuart's looking at here is a long trade, and he's looking for a basing bottom and a breakout. And it looks like we're starting to get that breakout because one of our tools that we use, or the indicators, is the ART trading software that puts these triangular trend trading pattern recognition fractal markers on your chart. Then they're triangles. So the idea is you enter when they turn green and their stops go under the most recent one. That's how they work. So that's indicating a long trade. We have nothing, no red here, so that's good. And we use these indicators at the bottom, kind of like a checkbox. And this looks good. All right, so everything looks really good on this. We've got a pyramid here. We've got some green here, a little bit of a pullback, but this pullback is actually giving you an opportunity to get in below the apex of that pyramid. So I'm liking this one, Stuart. Let's put this one down as a buy, okay? PENN. Next thing to take a quick look is where is the target for this? And let's just be conservative here. Let's say this is not a huge trend up, but a retracement on the long-term chart. You're looking at 42 to 60. Now, it's not going to happen tomorrow. You might have to wait 6 months to a year for it to get near that range, but that's kind of where we're headed, okay? So I'm kind of liking that for a trade that you can hold for a while. So good job on that. All right, let's take a look at NKE. NKE. And yes, PENN is a winner from Stuart. All right, let me go back to Stuart. I lost my place here. All right, hold on, Stuart. See if I can find you again. I had you. There we are. Okay, so all right, for the next one, Nike. Let's take a look at this one. I think we looked at this last week, and we were kind of on hold about it, if I recall, or we had you in, but now it's pulled back. And so if you got in on this move up, which I think we did, right? Then our stop's got to be down here, and there it is, okay? So if it breaks this bottom here, then basically the liquidity is going to be grabbed from all of people with stops going long, so you want to get out there, all right? And then we'll try again. So at this particular point, stay long, but have your stop at the bottom, okay? I'm not going to recommend this one because we have some bearish pyramids on the left-hand side still. But if this was something you took earlier, then have your stop at that very bottom, okay? And since you're watching it, you're not in it, okay? So you're in good shape. All right, SNOW. PENN is much better. All right, SNOW is another one, and you are long this one. And this is not a bad one to be long in, okay? So what we have here, all right, is a move off its bottom. It has not broken the bearish pyramid here yet. So darn close, okay? Green PTF, so good target capability here. We don't really have a pyramid to the upside here. So let's take a look at this next week and put this on our watch list simply because it's not quite ready in terms of a trade this week. It's still pulling back at this point. Now, if you're in it, keep your stop at the bottom, okay? Because you may be okay. It may just be pulling back a little bit and then heading back up. All right, thanks, Stuart. All right, Al, good to see you, Al. All right, ZM. All right, ZM we've looked at and recommended before. So let's open this bad boy up. And this is doing exactly what we had hoped, all right, which is moving up towards its target. And the long-term target on ZM is pretty up there at 191 to 276, and we're at 81 roughly right now. Now, we've had a big move up. We have a green PTF, green, 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 little pullback, see, coming. So how far back do I think this is going to pull back? Let's just grab some fibs. And I would say we're probably pulling back to around $79.83 to $75.25. So we're at 81.22. So you probably can, look for a buy in that zone there, and you'll probably get it next week. Today's Friday, so probably take another couple of days to get in there. So even though we have recommended this one before, and you can certainly stay in it because it's not a problem. What I would do with this is let's take a look at this next week for a entry for those that are not in it already, because I think I can get you in probably at a better price. Okay, so let's put that on the watch list again. If you're in it, don't worry. Actually, it's a good one to be in, but in terms of new folks, I think I can get you in a better price. And this is going to be the same way, okay? All these have run up so much that the market is kind of taking a breath here. So I would assume on this one here, basically, Al, what you can do is grab a fib retracement, and we're probably eventually heading down into the 85, mid-80s to mid-70s range. Okay, so I think I would wait and not buy it until we get back in there. But I do think it's a good one. And if you're long already, you just stay long and just make sure, do you want to get out on this leg up, or do you want to put your stop under that 76.65 and just stay with the trend long term? That's up to you, okay? Short-term traders would obviously exit. Long-term traders would stay with it. So I'm not going to recommend that this time for that reason, but we'll keep watching it and bring it back next week. All right, BKNG, let's take a look at this one here. And same situation, okay? So none of these are bad if you're in them, but they're getting ready for a pullback. So I would probably have my stop pretty tight, okay? Unless I'm in it for a long term. Then I would not worry about the pullbacks, okay? But I'm not going to recommend this one as well. All right, excellent, thank you. All right, let's keep going on here. Eleanor, how are you? Good to have you. All right, CLS, and you are long on all these. So let's keep track of this. Hopefully our advice has been okay, because I think we have basically remained in a lot of these that you have been in, and that's a good thing. All right, so we're up there. All right, we got green PTFs on the short time frame, so I'd stay with it, okay? And you can bring these back every week to get an update on this, but for right now, yeah, you might get a little bit of a pullback, but it's not done yet to the upside according to the PTFs. And that's why I like them so much. And they have a 70% accuracy rate, so they're pretty good. So you can stay with that one, okay? GCT. All right, so GTC did pull back quite a bit, okay? And let me just see what we got cooking here. And then it basically started to make another move up. Green PTF on the long-term chart. And we may be done with the pullback, okay? Let's just see here. Got a big move up here, big move here. Went a little bit lower, and also it looks to me like it might have gone into this territory here, which would be a problem for a wave 4. So maybe this is a wave 2. All right. So after wave 2 comes the biggest move of wave 3. But the problem with wave 2s is they can be kind of tough. because they can retrace the entire distance of wave one. So what do you do on something like this? I think if you held it through this pullback, all right, I would continue to hold it because now it may be ready to move up, okay? Not going to recommend this one quite yet to folks, but I'd like to see a little bit more follow through on the weekly chart before we get too excited. But if you're in it, stay with it. Okay, BROS. Let's see what we got cooking here. All right, so this had a nice jump up this week. You can see the gap up, and it created a green PTF. So more highs are coming. Gaps have a tendency to get filled, so that's possible before moving back up. So be ready for that. Long term, there's not a lot of history on this, so it's hard to get any type of wave count on this, but certainly a bullish chart nonetheless on the weekly chart. So there we have it, okay? So I'd stay with it, okay? Especially with a green PTF there, okay? So you're in good shape. All right, back to Stu. All right, DPZ. Let's see what that is looking. He's asking me if I have any thoughts on that. And let's take a look. I'm going to open up the weekly chart to just kind of see. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, so the nice thing about an Elliott Wave 3 is they're pretty hard to miss. So there it is, right? 3, this is probably a 4, and we are on our way with 5. All right, so that's a good sign. Next thing, let's just kind of make sure this thing kind of hits some of the requirements it had to. And one of the requirements is we like it to go into the Fibonacci retracement zone. And that's between basically 38.2 to 61.8%. So it did that on the retracement. And so the next thing we want to do is see where it's going. And so we'll kind of come out here, and now we'll draw a fib extension. And so our target is 641 to 859, and you should be in pretty good shape. The way I work this here, okay, the pyramids, okay, would have taken you out on this leg up, and they'll probably put you back in when it starts to resume. Or if you just want to stay in for the entire Elliott Wave 5, the small waves inside these waves will work kind of like that. So I would have my stop here. I would not put it here, okay, have it down here. And when this clears the high of here, then move it up here. And when it starts getting closer to the target, start using the pyramids and zero in on a little bit closer stops, okay? So DPZ is good. I'm liking it. Let's see what the short-term charts are showing. I think you got a decent risk to reward here. So let's put this on a recommended list, okay? So if you're trading off the daily chart in the center, I'd put your stop under this low here. Okay, you could probably put it under the pyramid, but if you want to be a little safer, put it under there, and your target is up here. Okay, so that's kind of how I would play that, and it looks good. All right, I don't see anything problematic with it, so I would recommend this one as a buy right now. Okay, so that's DPZ. All right, how are you? ARRY. Question mark long. So Al is thinking about a long trade on this. Let me just move these bad boys over here. Okay. So a little messy on the daily chart, right? Great for scalping, but not so great for trend trading because you really got to make sure your stops are far enough away not to get stopped out. Okay, not quite ready yet for me. All right, I don't like the fact that we're kind of basing, so maybe it could be coming up. I mean, this is coming up, right? So that's pretty good. This is coming up. This has kind of got a still bit of a red PTF, and we kind of got a kind of big range coming up here. Let's see how this plays out. If we can get above this range next week, let's look at it again. I maybe put it on a watch list, but at this particular point, we could see more lows on this too. So I'd be a little careful on that one. All right, Eleanor, how are you again? Okay, AMD. All right, so let's see how AMD's doing. All right, so right off the bat, all right, we've got the green PTF. We've looked at this one before, so more highs are eventually coming, so we should get around 240 on this. The question is timing. Are we still going down, or do we have a bottom? I would say probably it looks to me like we have a bottom in. I'll draw that here for you. That's here. All right. Bears are trying to drive it down. Let's see if that bottom holds. Sometimes what happens is everybody that's long, all the retail traders would be long by now. So there's a lot of stops, right? A lot of stops, long stops sitting there. So if they can be run before the next leg up, that will be done, because that will basically, they'll grab those shorts and go along with it. And when I say they, institutions and things like that are looking at stuff like that. So I like it, all right, if it turns around, okay? Currently, it's taking a dive down. I wouldn't panic out of it if you're in already. Just keep your stop, here, or maybe if you want to try here, okay? But, if they run this stop and they have the power, they'll run this one too. So I would just stay with it at this particular point and pick either with this point or this point for your stop. And that's where I would do it. But I would not enter fresh long here. Okay. So that is AMD. All right. TSM. Let's take a look at TSM here. All right. So TSM, ninth uptrend. I assume you're in it. I would not take a long here, simply because we're due for a pullback. So that pullback that probably will eventually come is in this area here. And it looks to me like we're in wave 3 here. So we could be going into a fairly decent pullback below 170, like 162 to 131. So I guess what I would do in a case like this is I'd probably have my stop a little closer if I don't want to endure that type of pullback. So I probably would have it here at this red line. And I think we'll probably go below that, but that's not a bad place to get out, okay? Take your profits and then look to get back in between those two blue lines representing the fib retracement. All right, so CAVA, let's take a look at that one. And this one, same thing, not much history on this, but boy, did it shoot up. I would use the pyramid for your stop here, okay? I think we're going to get a correction and then higher highs. Very bearish bar here on the weekly, and it looks like, we're heading down a little bit. So, could you get one more quick high? Anything is possible, okay? It is possible. Still got green here. You still got a valid pyramid. But I would put my stop, depending on where you got in, right here, because that would lock in some nice profits if you got in early on that trend. Okay, and that's CAVA. All right, Al, STZ. STZ. Okay, so STZ in terms of long, no. Okay, I don't like it. Messy, and it's already made one more new high here this year. And so, I think there's better ones, okay? All right, we'll do a couple more here. I think Eleanor will end with you next. But Al, let's take a look at CVS, because again, I like to try to keep these about half an hour. Okay, so CVS, let's see what we got cooking there. All right, and where are you there? So Al is looking for short trades here. Okay, no, it's too late, and you got a green PTF on the 60-minute. Let's take a look at PFV for a short trade. And this one at least is going down. I mean, if you were a scalper and you wanted to trade off this, maybe. Okay, but this will probably create some type of short-term reversal scalp. Problem is, where is it going? That's the problem. If we take a look at this here, all right, you know, basically I'm looking for a rebound up here before looking at too much more down trade position. So I don't think I would short it. It's too late. Okay, too late. All right, last group here. All right, Eleanor, CRWD. CRWD. All right, not much history on this. Tough to get an Elliott wave count there. Let's see if this helps us. All right, so we've got a red PTF, we've got a green PTF. So short term, it looks like we're going to inch our way up again. We do have a pretty good situation here. And then I think we're going to pull down somewhat. This concerns me here, this red PTF. Almost changed green. All right, it looks like a bottom here to me. So I'm hopeful this is one of the 25% times the PTF is wrong for you, because if that's the case, it should keep going up. So I don't think I would bail on this. I wouldn't take a new long here, but since you're long already, I would kind of stay with it at this point. But you have to decide how much you want to give away. So in other words, if we come down here, all right, are you willing to hold this thing that long? I don't think so, right? So I put my stop probably right here for right now. So that's right at just below the 300 level, okay? That's where the stop should be. All right, let's take a look at NVO. Okay, again, are you long? If you're long, all right, you've already endured a fairly good correction. We're definitely in a wave 4. So let's see where this is going to go. 1, 2. We're probably heading down to 97 to 65. That's the zone, with liquidity resting right here. Okay, I would imagine they'll take that out. Okay, so you know you got to decide after this, you know, range has been met. You'll see more highs. But the question is, do you want to let it go down to possibly in the 70s, sitting at 101? All right. If not, you may want to get out now or wait for the next bounce and try to get up. But usually I find that's kind of a gamble to decide on what's going to happen with that, especially with so much pressure to the downside. So I would not want to be long on this. I would have rather have gotten out earlier, but if it's this far gone and you want to hold it a little more longer and be prepared to hold it to possibly a low of 65, then just hold it. Okay. If not, I'd get out now. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at ARM. And we looked at this last week. Not much history on this one. All right. So this one's pulling back a little bit at this particular point. So it kind of went pretty low there. Let me just see. Yeah, not much history. It's tough to get a good read on this one. So it definitely surpassed that pullback area, right? So I would not do anything with this, okay? Now, if you are long on this, I don't even know where this is going. There's just not enough data for me to make a good form of analysis on this. Let me just see if there's any more help on the lower time frame. Boy, even this one is shallow. All right. Well, all I can tell you is it's heading down and more lows are coming because this is red here. So, you know, if you kind of want to just stick with it, pick a stop here and hope that that holds. Okay. So this is not one I'd want to be in simply because I can't get a good read on it. Okay. All right. Well, good picks today. So let me just recap real quick. So we got two winners, PENN and DPZ. On the watch list, we got SNOW, SNOW, ZM, GILD. So those are on the watch list. All right, let me go over and let's just take a look and see what the intraday time frames are doing over here. And look at that move down. Wow. Okay. So the bottom line on this here, obviously a downtrend. The pyramids nailed it. Okay. Fair value gaps are all bearish. So what a great ride down, okay? And I was trading that yesterday as well, last night. So good move. We're getting in a bottoming territory here. So I would imagine we'll get a pretty good bounce at some point. And then we may even see, I would say, more lows after the bounce. So I wouldn't be surprised, if we see more selling by certainly the end of the day, okay? I don't think the lows are quite in yet. But I do think we're due for a bounce. But we could make one more low before we get that bounce. But we're in that territory. All right, so I'll leave this up for now. All right, and there you have it. All right, so have a good week. Thanks so much for everybody for being here. And we'll see you back here next Friday. And again, the winners this week are PENN and DPZ. And we will have this posted as a recording as well. And we'll put links in that recording if you're interested in any of our software tools, books, etc. Okay, so check that out. Also, too, if you're a day trader and you love that stuff, Apex is a great way to go in terms of prop firms. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I put a link up there where you can get a break on the price. All right, that's it for this week. We'll see you back next week. Thanks so much, everybody.